Thanks to all joining us for this pre-recorded show. It is for the Turffontein meeting, which takes place on the inside track, and looking forward to a 10-race program. Alistair Cohen is on the line. Firstly, Alistair, how are you doing? And secondly, what do you think of the card overall?
Yeah, hi Sheldon. Hello to all the viewers as well. I'm doing good, thanks. It's obviously been quite a frenetic couple of weeks with the Sales and Equus Awards and another big weekend ahead, and then things certainly quietened down for me throughout September. A bit of travelling down to Cape Town, but that's about it really. As for the card, well, we'll start with what happened on Thursday. Tipped the bar pot, 108 Rand perm. That returned nearly 850 Rand, so that all went according to plan. The last race Quartet landed, that paid nearly 20,000 Rand. So Thursday was a very, very good day for the viewers, and I hope that they took full advantage of it. As for the Saturday card, Sheldon, it's the first sign that feature races are coming back to the Highveld. Obviously, the Spring Spree Stakes, there's a nice pick six carryover. The pick six is my suggested bet because I believe when there is a carryover that to guide punters with what will be the biggest pool of the day, I think will make things worthwhile. I quite like the card. There's one banker I've got that's coming up later on, which I'll talk about. But all in all, actually not a bad start to spring on the Highveld.
Right, let's get straight into race number one. And you said you're not that busy this month, but you've got a 10-race program, so you'll definitely be busy on Saturday. And looking at the first race, number 10, Was Up, from 4-1, has shortened down 5-2. And this is for the Luckyhood Larker stable. Greg Bortz and Gina Goldsmith. What do you make about that money for number 10, What's Up?
I'm a little bit surprised because first of all, I make it a very hot maiden. There are lots of horses in here with chances. Was Up is held by King's Ransom on the run to Wise Act. And then obviously Was Up finished in front of Ragamuffin and Motown Mo, I think are two horses who I don't think are going to be a factor here. So Was Up's got a bit to do to turn the form around with King's Ransom, who was last time a bit indecisive over what side of the track he needed to go on, and then ran into a bit of traffic with about 300 meters left to run. He's a lot better than that run suggests. So also the extended distance is likely to help him out. But I think the horse they all need to beat here, Sheldon, is number 9, Ryan's Boulevard. He made a very encouraging debut. He's going to come on a lot. He finished behind Command Pilot on that occasion, finished in front of Turk Connell, who was entitled to lead the run and ran nicely. He was all the rage last time but fell short, running like he needed the run. So I think the winner comes from one of 3 horses in an order of preference: 9 Ryan's Boulevard, 1 Turk Connell, and 6 King's Ransom. The money on number 10 Was Up makes me think a little bit, and I'm also not sure about him on the inside track because he tends to leave his races right for the end. If he's not in touching distance, he might be left with a little bit too much to do, and I also believe that he's looking for a mile plus.
That'll take us on to race number 2, a smaller field, so hopefully we'll be able to pick out the winner here. Just looking at the betting, number 2, American Biscuit. This is the early anti-post money horse from around about 22-10 down 16-10, and then you can take 4-1 and upwards the balance. Just having a look at number 2, American Biscuit. Now we know the Tyrone Zaki stable, when the money comes for their horses, you've got to sit back and certainly take note.
Yeah, that's got to be a big factor. Richard Furry's ridden this horse once before. He beat Free Movement. Free Movement's now a 2-time winner trained by Robbie Sage. He's a nice horse to follow in terms of that. He's competitive at his level. So only 2 horses for me here, Sheldon. 2 American Biscuit and 6 Nazare in the opening leg of the bipod. It might be a wise idea to go in with both and hopefully double up. Number 2, American Biscuit, ran in a middle stakes at a penultimate start, carried 52 kilos and ran 5 lengths to Perfect Witness. So that was a good run. Last time I was actually slightly disappointed with his run behind Napoleon in a novice handicap. He's back in the same type of company on the inside track under Richard Furry. So he's got enough going for him. In fact, I reckon Tyrone Zaki would tell you that he's a little bit disappointed that this horse is still a 1-time winner. And then number 6, Nazare, actually ran a good race last time. I know that he was getting tired over the final 100 meters, but a horse who he finished well in front of, Rattlerbag, came out and franked the form, and Valero, who was also well behind Nazare, ran a good second behind a progressive horse at the Vaal on Thursday. So with a lightweight, with JP van der Merwe knowing number 6 Nazare a lot better, I think he'll go quite close here. I think a little bit of number 4 French Impact as a horse, but I'm surprised that he's back 11 days later. He cut himself into so badly last time behind Archimedes. It looked like a little bit of a war zone in the parade ring afterwards with number 4 French Impact. So I'm surprised that he's back 11 days later. So for me, 2 and 6, the only two who can win it. Both horses go into the bipod.
Taking us on to race number 3. Race number 3 will be run at 13:15 and over 1,500 meters, so the in-between distance, where the betting has number 5 on the horizon from 5 to 2 down 2 to 1. Number 1 Strange Magic, who you own, is at 4 to 1, and then 4 to 1 See an Enemy. Let's kick off with your horse number 1 Strange Magic. Now this daughter of Erupt, she's done exceptionally well for you.
Yeah, she's done nasty. She's disappointing when we think everything's in her favour, and then when we sort of go off her, then she runs her best races. So don't really know where number 1 Strange Magic stands, because last time before the race it was one of those where she probably left a win out there bolting before the race. You know that they don't come back, and she still ran a cracking race behind See an Enemy, and she's waited to turn the form around. And you always believe, had she not bolted, she probably beat See an Enemy quite convincingly. So number 1 Strange Magic has to be in the race. 3 See an Enemy is improving, although held by number 1 Strange Magic. So I'd loathe to say that she can't win. She definitely can. This horse number 5 on the horizon at the top of the boards. I'm surprised that she's top of the boards, but I'm not surprised there's money for her, if that makes any sense. She beat a decidedly moderate maiden field 11 days ago, but she comes in as a 4-year-old, generously weighted. The handicapper's hands are tied with these horses that win older than 3 years old on their first run. So on the horizon could be a step or two above the handicapper. So the fact that she beat nothing first time out, obviously that's a problem, but the fact that she could be well handicapped has to be a factor with her. 6 Just Been Asked will run better than she did last time. She needed her last start. 7 Queen of Camelot for me has been very costly to follow, so I'm a little bit standoffish with her. So I know it's the first leg of the place accumulator. You might want to load up with numbers 1 Strange Magic, 3 See an Enemy, and 5 on the horizon as the 3 horses to take you through, hopefully doubling up there.
Excellent. And then I just want to throw number 2 Simple from the Mike de Kock stable. Has been sparingly raced. Was beaten behind I'm Regal last time out, but maybe a horse worth throwing into the trifectas and quartets. Let's go straight on to race number 4. And this is the opening leg of the pick 6. And Alistair has tipped us a pick 6 today, so we will go through that pick 6. And opening off the batting, you're going with numbers 1, 3, and 9.
Yep, 1, 3, and 9, my numbers here, Sheldon. I'm pretty bullish that the winner comes from one of these 3 horses. Let me go through them. Number 1, Raffles, a model of consistency, pushed Perfect Witness all the way last time out when going down about a head. Muzi Yeni back on board for Roy Magna. Everything Muzi rides at the moment probably gets shaved an extra few points in the market. I have all the time in the world for number 1, Raffles. If he can shoulder top weight, then he's probably the one that they all need to beat. Number 3, Millahue. Johan Janssen van Vuren's done very well with this horse on the half vault. He's yet to miss the first 4, and the only time he didn't run in the first 3 was on his first run in town over a distance short of his best. He's a likeable horse wherever Raffles is. Millahue should be right there. They meet on identical terms, and there was half a length between them. I do think though that the inside track will probably suit number 3 Millahue a little bit more, so perhaps bear that in mind. And then the lightly raced number 9 Haslo Grande simply didn't stay, well certainly not yet last time, over 2,400 meters, dropping in distance to 1,800 meters off a lightweight. Pila Sunday and Chloe and Paul Matchett firing on all cylinders at the moment. I have respect for number 9 Haslo Grande to put these 2 heavyweights under a bit of pressure.
Let's move on to race number 5. 14:25 is the off time. When you look at race number 5, 1,800 meters. Number 1, Twa Cut, is currently priced up at 2 to 1, and then you can go out to 5 to 1 and better the rest. Alistair, when it comes to race number 5, I'm glad that you've elected to go with the field here, because number 1, Twa Cut, I think 2 to 1 could be the wrong price in this company.
totally agree with you, Sheldon. I'm not ruling out his chances because at least he's coming along the right way and he's looking for a hat-trick of wins, and he might be generously treated by the handicapper still. But dropping in distance and now going on the inside track, a few alarm bells are ringing with number 1, Twa Cut, and also top weight, not going to be too easy. So even though if he wins, I'd be in my pick 6 and I wouldn't be blown away. I agree. I think 2 to 1 is the wrong price, and I'll be looking to oppose him if I am going to have a win bet, and I probably won't have a win bet. I think the play here could be around number 6, Silent Trigger, especially if Nazare does something in race 2. Nazare finished behind Silent Trigger. Silent Trigger hit the line running last time out. This is an extra 200 meters. I think had that race been an extra 200 meters, he wins quite impressively. Number 6, Silent Trigger. He came from the worst of the draws last time on the inside track. Now he's got Muzi back on board from a generous draw. The handicapper only gave him £3 for that win as well. I know that he's well held by Twa Cut in that run on the 10th of August, but I think inside track this distance more in favour of Silent Trigger than 2,000 metres at the Val would go the way of the De Kock runner number 1, Twa Cut. So I think number 6, Silent Trigger is the value play in the race. How will I structure a bet here? That's a good question. I don't know if there's any value in going each way with number 6, Silent Trigger. Might be a factor of going maybe double floats in the quartet 3 and 6 with the field, and hope that's something like Romeo's Magic. Not that that's prayerless, and 6 and rather number 11, the Inkosana can run into the top 4. Maybe that's the wrong play as well, but 6, Silent Trigger is definitely going to be in my best, and I've got time for number 3, Latuli.
That'll take us on to race number 6, which is the Betway, the Lady Stakes over 1,200 metres. Odds-on favourite, number 1, Mrs. Browning from the Sean Terry outfit. Beaten a short head by Sun Blushed in KwaZulu-Natal last time. 5th to Humdinger in the penultimate run. And I see you've just backed her up with number 2, Miss Daisy.
Yeah, because I think Miss Daisy's a good filly, and she won this race last year. She obviously got disqualified after the specs analysis, but all the same, she won the race last year, and she won from start to finish. I know she's got extra weight to carry. She was a 3-year-old last year, and according to the conditions of the race, that's the benefit that they get. But change of yard, having run in the races that she's run, this is probably her game, this type of course, this type of distance, this type of race. So I've got time for number 2, Miss Daisy, but in the cold light today, number 1, Mrs. Browning, should be the right horse in the race. As you mentioned, Pip last time in one of those conditional graduation races at Hollywoodbets Scottsville, coming back from a layoff. Finishing 2 lengths to Humdinger. Humdinger had a wonderful winter season down in KZN, running close to some big names in the Garden Province. She wasn't disgraced behind Horse of the Year, Princess Callan. She wasn't far behind Desert Miracle either. So Mrs. Browning sets the clear standard in this race. To be fair, I don't know if you'll agree. I know you called the race. For me, she's basically going into this race a winner without a penalty, because she was all over a winner 2 weeks ago at Hollywoodbets Scottsville. She got pipped by Sun Blushed. I don't know how, but she did. So number 1, Mrs. Browning, like I said, sets a clear standard, but just leave it open-ended for number 2, Miss Daisy.
Straight on to race number 7, being a 10-race program. Race number 7. Well, Alistair, let's start off with me, Sheldon. Number 2. He's now a 6-time winner, and when you look at the jockey arrangement with Gavin Larena, he's got a good strike rate on Sheldon.
And I know that Gavin and Johan Janssen van Vuren like Sheldon, so there's a feather in your cap. They like Sheldon as an individual. I don't know what they think of him on Saturday, but I'm pretty sure they'd expect him to go close. His penultimate start in the Post Merchants, I spoke to Johan before the race, and he said, I'm a little bit dicey about him at Hollywoodbets Greyville under lights, because he can be quite quirky. They put blinkers on him last time, and that was quite a dominating performance over Mover and Shaker in a Pinnacle Stakes. He looked like he had come on a huge amount. That was his career best, funny enough. There's no doubt about it, because at the weights, he didn't have much chance, according to the official handicapper, but he came out on top, and I suddenly believe that he might have a nice feature in him sometime, a race like the Merchants on Betway Summer Cup Day. I'm sure that could be on the horizon for number 2, Sheldon. So I tip him on top. I have a lot of time for him as a horse, as do the connections, and it was good to see them back in the winner's enclosure on Thursday, because by Johan's own admission, it has been a rough, tough start to the season for him, but he does normally come alive. Maybe this is a little early, but late September, especially October, November, Johan's normally firing. For Quantum Theory, I've spoken to Robbie Sage about this horse. He cannot believe he's still a 2-time winner. He's a lot better than that. Maybe now with the pressure off and dropping in trip, number 4 Quantum Theory can bounce back. Interesting that Muzi is not in any of the Sage runners on this Saturday, so a few whispers about that. Then there's number 6 on the card, Team Gold. In fact, I want to talk about both Magna horses who I've got in, Team Gold and Thunderstone. Both of them are good inside track horses. Whether they have the class to win, I mean, look, Team Gold won this race last year for what it's worth, beating Sheila. I think that this is a trifle stronger edition of the Spring Spree Stakes, but if he can win it one year, he can definitely win it the next. Diego de Gavea is on board for Ray Magna. As mentioned, number 10 Thunderstone, an inside track, a better horse on the inside track than he is anywhere else. I don't know whether he quite has the class, but expect him to run quite nicely. And number 9 Bard of Avon, this is the one that Muzi rides, has a very difficult draw. Beating Peyton's Tears isn't the biggest feather in one's cap, because Peyton's Tears again disappointed on Thursday. She hasn't won for 2.5 years. But number 9 Bard of Avon looked quite impressive when winning first run for the yard. So there could be a little bit more upside to number 9 Bard of Avon. You'll remember he was a very promising 2-year-old with Ashley Fortune. The handicapper probably got hold of Bard of Avon early doors, but now he's probably in the right place to go on a bit of a streak. So he's also in my pick 6. So my numbers here are 2, 4, 6, 9, and 10.
Right, let's move on to the next race, and you can take it away. Go through your selections.
Okay, so it's banker time, Sheldon, with number 5 Ready to Charge. This trained by the Yazzies. Muzi Yeni takes a ride. That's a combination that don't often team up, but when they do, the jockey trainer stats over the last 12 months, 7 times they've combined for 2 wins and 4 places. So only missed the top 4 once. Now, Ready to Charge went down to Hollywoodbets Greyville on Gold Cup Day, ran a cracking race behind Outlaw King. I could argue that maybe a few more strides, Ready to Charge wins the race, but still it was a cracking run. He's not, funny enough, the most striking horse around. It's a bit of a cliche, but it is true that the Aussie horses always look the part. I think they have to work quite hard with number 5 Ready to Charge to get him looking as well as they can and as they do. But I think with the disclaimers with a lot of horses, Unzen hasn't run for half a year. 2 Cliffhanger, I think the fact that he's got to give a little bit of weight to Ready to Charge, I think is going to count against Cliffhanger, although I think he's a nice horse. Rose for Trippy, I think, has got a bit to do. 4 Heirloom is held by Ready to Charge. Capsaicin beats a very weak maiden field from the Yazzie yard as well. So I think Ready to Charge a better horse than Capsaicin, and I think number 7 Global Thunder is held and also is not good enough and held by Heirloom. And if Heirloom's held by Ready to Charge, then I think Ready to Charge should have her number. So banker time here in the penultimate race on the penultimate leg of the pick 6 rather. Number 5 Ready to Charge, I think, is a hard horse to beat. Plus there was a little bit of anti-post support, which fills me with a little bit more confidence.
That'll take us on to the penultimate race of the day, race number 9. And when you look at the field, Lawrence Verners is coming here with numbers. And number 8 Rainbow Reward is the anti-post favourite, marginally at 5-2.
Yeah, I see that I've made a bit of a typo here. My numbers should be 1, 2, 3, and 8, not 1, 2, 3, and 9. So my apologies for that. 1, 2, 3, and 8 should be my numbers for this final leg of the pick 6. With number 8, Rainbow Reward, my top choice. Gavin Larena now takes a ride. Draw 1, a huge benefit, obviously, on the inside track. He's got a great turn of foot. This is his first run on the inside track, so I think that'll serve him very well, the son of Rafif. He's coming along the right way. I like how he beats Cosmic Star, who he reopposes last time out, although Cosmic Star's waited to get a little bit closer. I don't think that he'll turn it around with number 8 Rainbow Reward. And I just like the way this horse is going about his business. This was the horse on Hollywoodbets Gold Challenge Day that ducked from the shadow right at the winning line. So he won. Gavin Larena rode him to victory, saw the shadow, dropped Gavin and went home. So he might have a couple of quirks to number 8 Rainbow Reward, but he's also got a lot of ability. My backup is for horses of equal amount ability. Let's talk about the 2 Janse van Vuren horses first. Number 2 Shayavana, I think, has actually under-delivered a little bit. Henny Krailing takes her out from a deep draw, so it'll be interesting to see if number 2 Shayavana comes back, but he comes off a long layoff. But I reckon the connections would have number 2 Shayavana in their pick 6 if he runs. So I'm going to take the same stance. 3 Moonshining Through has been a bit of a thorn in the side, so to speak, for Jared and Lawrence Verners, because there have been a few times that she's been in races with stable companions, and Moonshining Through has ended up on top. Diego de Gavea is on board. He gets a tune out of this daughter of Rafif. So it'll almost be sort of trying to avoid lightning striking for the third time with number 3, Moonshining Through. And then the resurgent number 1, Captain Hindsight. I didn't really like him last time over 1,000 meters, but he beat Big Eyed Girl. This is a bit harder for number 1, Captain Hindsight. I know it's still a middle stakes, but he's got an extra 2 kilos to carry. But while he's in this form, he's hard to ignore. So 1, 2, 3, and 8 are my numbers in the final leg of the pick 6. And if we get that far, I'm pretty confident we'll be okay.
Super duper. One race left on the card, race number 10. I won't keep you any longer, so just give us what your thoughts are on race number 10. I've had a look at it, and it doesn't look that easy.
No, it doesn't look easy at all, Sheldon. It depends whether the apprentice allowance at number 1, Golden Sickle, is going to have an effect here, because Golden Sickle and On Cue met on the first day of the season on the 1st of August, and On Cue somehow ran down Golden Sickle. The weight suggests that it's absolutely no contest this time around. Golden Sickle's got draw 1, and fine by virtue of an apprentice allowance, but still comes in 3 kilos better off for a short head. On Cue, over 1,200 meters last time, was just found wanting, didn't have that same spark. So coming back to 1,000 meters, there's got to be some sort of save for her. But number 1, Golden Sickle, at the weight, should easily turn it around with number 2, On Cue, and I expect that to be the case. But then there's number 4, Rizara. Rizara drops in grade, drops in rating. I've got all the time in the world for number 4, Rizara. Watch her go down to the start. And also the other factor with Rizara is if the track's running, well, if nothing's running on, and it's hard to run in on these conditions on the half velds at the moment, then that might count against number 4, Rizara. But if there are races where horses are staying on, have a little sneak at number 4, Rizara, because I believe she could turn them both over. So she's my value in the race, the most reliable selection, number 1, Golden Sickle, but at least you'll have 9 races by now to have worked out how things are going. And if the track suits number 4, Rizara, and horses are running on, then she could well get promoted to my top choice. Damo Star, another horse, don't leave her out. Last time was all wrong for number 8, Damo Star. I'd give her another chance. I think she'll run more like her penultimate start than her last run here.
Well, you said the other day you had a good day. You made some money for the punters out there. Your selected bet for the day is a pick 6. So if you want to read out those numbers for the viewers, and hopefully they can catch the pick 6 a percentage, or even if they can catch it fully, take us through those selections.
Yeah, to catch it full would be great. So the pick 6 gets underway at 13.50, Sheldon. Of course, the target on the pick 6 is 3 million rand with this carryover attached. The first race underway at 12:10. So numbers in the first leg, 1, 3, and 9, Raffles, Millahue, and Haslo Grunde. The second leg, I've gone field, hoping for a big result there, but I think the tickets will be quite well spread in that race. Then race 6, third leg, the Betway Ladies Stakes, 1 and 2, Mrs. Browning and Miss Daisy. Race 7, the feature race, the listed Betway Spring Spree Stakes are gone with you. Number 2, Sheldon. 4, Quantum Theory. 16, Gold. 9, Bard of Avon, and 10, Thunderstone. Then gone Banker, number 5, ready to charge in the penultimate leg. So that's where all my eggs, that's the basket that all my eggs are in. And then the final leg of the pick 6, 1, Captain Hindsight. 2, Shy of Honor. 3, Moonshining Through. And number 8, Rainbow Reward. That should be in the final leg of the pick 6 as well.
Well, thanks very much, Alistair. Being a 10-race program, took a little bit longer than usual. All the best, and we'll catch up with you shortly.
Absolute pleasure, Sheldon. As always, keep well, and to all the viewers, all the best on Saturday and for every other meeting for that matter.
Thanks very much to Alistair Cohen joining us on the line for the Turffontein Inside meeting. Best of luck.